Russian War Machine, Dalton, Grant, and Xander Hendricks.
Representing the new Rebel Army is Raging Rebel Robbie Stanley, James Manson, Outlaw Wayne Taylor, and Shotgun Shane Matthews.
We're getting ready for 8-man action. The Russians, Grant, Hendrick, Steelinova, and the Russian War Machine taking on the new Rebel Army. Robbie Stanley, James Manson, Wayne Taylor. And we got the young cat Shane getting checked out there by Mr. Andy Hensley, who will be calling this action here. Referee Andy Hensley is going to have to be careful with this one, making sure he calls it right down the middle. That's a lot of men. Oh! And all 8 men right off the bat going after each other. You see here we've got Stanley and Steelinova right in front of us here. And it looks like the new Rebel Army. Uh-oh. What's this? Everybody in the new Rebel Army getting ready. Foe! That's a traffic jam at exit 7. And all the reverse atomic drops that you can imagine. This is really thrown off. The team of the Russians as a USA chant begins here at Carver Rec. Let's see who's going to be starting this match off for the new Rebel Army. It looks like...
Remember, the louder you cheer, the harder they're going to work.
starting in the ring. We got Dalton Gray. And for the new Rebel Army, it's Stanley. Here we go. Dalton Gray, it looks like, may have tagged in. Made the tag to the Russian War Machine. That's what happened. Russian War Machine coming into the ring here now. Robbie Stanley is in the ring, and he's ready to tie up with the Russian War Machine. Gray, Hendricks, and Steelinova on the outside for the Russians here. Andy Hensley checking, making sure that these men are ready, circling each other. Stanley and the War Machine tie up and right to the eyes of Robbie Stanley. Russian War Machine, some big shots to the jaw of Robbie Stanley. Stanley whipped across the ring. Russian War Machine ready for him, ducks the clothesline. Oh, and Stanley with some good old American punches to the jaw. Robbie Stanley, oh, and an elbow, lighting up the face of the Russian War Machine. War Machine comes over, tags in. I think he just tagged in Mr. Steelinova. He got his hug from Steelinova, and Steelinova coming into the ring with Robbie Stanley. USA still being chanted out through Carver Rec here as Steelinova and Robbie Stanley tie up. Steelinova goes into the side headlock. Don't be fooled, ladies and gentlemen. David Steelinova is one of the toughest men in that ring. Oh, and whips back. You got to be careful. Robbie Stanley takes any more bumps like that, he could blow a hip out. Mr. Steelinova lifting Stanley back up to his knees here. Stanley against the ropes. Steelinova whips him. Look out. Oh, and Stanley rolls up Steelinova. That's one. That's two. And Steelinova kicks out. Oh, and Andy Hensley shoving Steelinova to the ground. That is elder abuse, ladies and gentlemen, happening right before your eyes. Now the Russian War Machine's in the ring, ready to deal with the abuser, Andy Hensley, as Steelinova wraps up the arm of Robbie Stanley. Hendrick's in the ring now, still on Stanley's arm, and look out. Oh, Russian leg sweep. And an elbow. There's an elbow. Hendrick's into the cover. That's one. That's two. And Robbie Stanley kicks out. Dalton Gray telling the referee that he needs to count a little faster, but Andy Hensley is obviously a man who's not afraid to put his hands on these men. And now Dalton Gray with an elbow to the arm of Robbie Stanley, working that arm still. Up, and there are the knees right to the arm. And again, knees to the arm of Robbie Stanley. There's the cover. That's one. That's two. And Stanley gets the shoulder up again. And now choking out Robbie Stanley. If you have never seen Dalton Gray wrestle before, this kid is impressive. He's going places for sure. And especially if he can get a win over Robbie Stanley and the New Rebel Army tonight, it's going to be even better for him. Looks like James Manson was trying to get in the ring, and Hendrick's ricocheting Stanley's head off that middle rope. Referee's tied up with Steelinova. Dalton Gray into the cover. That's one. That's two. And Stanley grabs the middle rope. Russian War Machine standing in the corner menacingly over Robbie Stanley as he gets pinned. And again, back to the arms, Dalton Gray. Steelinova comes back into the ring. And still working over that arm. Steelinova, the brains behind the Russians. One of the smartest men, one of the strongest men. Oh, and you got to be careful. Stanley tags in James Manson. It is good on Robbie Stanley to get out of there. Letting James Manson take over. Steelinova's in the corner. Here comes Manson. Big splash. Oh, and now the headbutts to Steelinova. Referee telling James Manson he's got to be careful. Oh! Did you see the quickness of Mr. Steelinova there? Caught him with a quick kick. Those old-fashioned Russian rake of the eyes. Hendrick's back in. And to the arm. They're just going to keep working over the arms of the New Rebel Army. There's a hip toss from James Manson. Hendrick's up to his feet. Off the ropes. Back elbow takes him down. Manson still on his feet. The Russians are in a bad place now, and here comes the Outlaw Wayne Taylor. Oh! Kick to the arm, Wayne Taylor. Having a little fun with Hendricks now. Back and Hendricks up into the corner. Oh, Taylor with a punch to the chest, slap to the face. Andy Hensley reminding the Outlaw exactly of the rules of this 8-man tag team match. Punches aside. Oh, Hendrick's got a thumb up into the eye of Wayne Taylor. Tag. Here comes Dalton Gray. Forearm to the side of the head of Wayne Taylor. Chop. Forearm. Chop. Back and Taylor up in the corner. Ooh, look at the quickness of Dalton Gray again. Now foot to the throat. The flexibility of this man. Don't let his young age fool you. He's tough as can be. Gray backed up. Here he comes. Oh! Oh! Taylor caught him. The Outlaw caught him. The Outlaw caught him. What's going on here? Russian War Machine's in the ring. James Manson's in the ring. Oh, what a huge powerbomb lays out Dalton Gray. Huge powerbomb lays out Gray. Russian War Machine heading back out to the apron. said, and here come the big smacks. Manson coming into the ring. Dalton Gray is in the New Rebel Army's corner. James Manson, there! Oh, they're hearing that one on Main Street. Oh! An overhand chop. Oh, lighting his chest up again. Now the Russian War Machine pulling the referee aside. What's going on here? The referee, New Rebel Army, respectable enough to try to get the referee's attention. I don't know what Russian War Machine's plan was. Is Robbie Stanley back into the ring? He's had a little bit of a breather. Oh! Heavy chops, taking the glove off. We're about to hear it even louder now. Oh! I don't think Robbie Stanley's done with him yet. Oh, welcome to America, kid. There's the tag, the young gun back in for the New Rebel Army. Dalton Gray has been having one hell of a time over in the corner of the New Rebel Army here. Whips him off, Gray off the ropes, almost knocks Steelinova off, and Gray taking down with a huge clothesline. Dalton Gray desperately needs to get over to one of his partners. Oh, double leg takedown. Gray finally swings it back for the Russians. Steelinova's back in. The brains of the Russians. Oh, and now backing him into the corner of the Russians. Oh, and now the Russians going to have their fun with some chops. If you're any member of the New Rebel Army, this is not a corner that you want to be in. Hendrick's in now. Oh! Chops of his own. Steelinova running his mouth. Here comes the Russian War Machine. Oh, and now using the strap at Andy Hensley, the most lenient referee in professional wrestling history. Steelinova's back in. Steelinova in the War Machine. Both shoot him off. Ducks a double clothesline. Look out. Rolls under. Here comes Robbie Stanley. Stanley's in. Oh, watch the quickness. Punches to the jaw of Steelinova. And now the Russian War Machine with a cheap shot on Robbie Stanley. It's breaking down now as they're brawling outside. It's chaos outside. Andy Hensley's lost control. Andy Hensley's lost control of this match. Steelinova and Robbie Stanley are the Lego men in there in the ring. Steelinova going high. Went for the double axe. Moved. Robbie Stanley's got him in the crossface. Robbie Stanley's got him in the crossface. Steelinova's in the crossface. Steelinova taps out. The New Rebel Army wins. New Rebel Army wins.
And the winner of the match is the New Rebel Army!
Still, the New Rebel Army wins, but the chaos that happened at the end of this match. And wait, it's Brett Mulligan! Oh! Oh! A wicked chair shot to the back! Oh, Mulligan! Brett Mulligan! Mulligan crowning James Manson with the chair! And the Russian War Machine choking out Robbie Stanley. Hendrick's choking out Wayne Taylor. Andy Hensley and referee Dakota Mullins are the only two men who can keep control. And I assure you they have lost it. Brett Mulligan swinging on the refs, and the refs are booking it. Steelinova. Mr. Steelinova's got what? He's got a razor. He's got an electric razor. I think Steelinova, Dalton Gray, Brett Mulligan. Steelinova's gonna shave the beard of Robbie Stanley. Oh my God, the disrespect. Mr. Steelinova shaving the face of Robbie Stanley. Dalton Gray gonna take a turn, taking some of the hair off the face. Brett Mulligan stomping on James Manson. They're helpless. Robbie Stanley just got his beard shaved. The disrespect from the Russians. The Outlaw getting choked out by Hendrick and the Russian War Machine. James Manson coming too. And Robbie Stanley made to look like Benjamin Franklin. James Manson's lost it. The disrespect from the Russians.
Let's give it up for the new Rebel Robbie one more time.
James Manson has the Russian chain. The disrespect. James Manson asking if the Russian lost something, but really what was lost tonight? The beard of Robbie Stanley.